House Morrigen of Crow's Nest is a noble house from the Stormlands. It is located in the mountainous terrain between Griffin's Roost and Stonehelm, along the western edge of Cape Wrath and the Rainwood. The arms are a black crow in flight on storm green, with their motto currently not known. Their exact origin is also not known to us. Thus, we do not know if House Morrigen were of Firstmen or Andal descent. However, given that many of the houses of the Stormlands married into the Andal population, it is likely that they descended from both. While we do not know how old the house is, we can assume they do date back at least to the era of the Storm Kings of House Durrandon, thus predating the Targaryen conquest. The only evidence for this comes from the fact that Adikon Morrigen was killed by Queen Rhaenys Targaryen atop her dragon Meraxes during the battle known as the Last Storm during the Wars of Conquest that ultimately resulted in the downfall of the Storm Kings and the rise of House Baratheon, who House Morrigen now swear their allegiances to. The next notable member of House Morrigen is Damon Morgan, who was active during the Faith Uprising in 42 AC. First against King Aenys Targaryen, then his half-brother, King Maegor the Cruel. He was widely known as Damon the Devout. Given his devotion to the faith, he was a pious knight and a member of the Warrior's Sons. He later became the Grand Captain of the Warrior's Sons King's Landing chapter, based at the Sept of Remembrance on Rhaenys' Hill during the Faith Militant Uprising. Later, after King Maegor the Cruel crowned himself king and flew upon his dragon Balerion the Blackdread from Dragonstone to Visenya's Hill to raise his standard in King's Landing, his mother, the Dowager Queen Visenya Targaryen, challenged those who questioned her son's right to rule to prove themselves, a challenge that the Warrior's Sons gladly accepted. Sir Damon proposed a trial of 7, with Damon and 6 of his own Warrior's Sons against King Maegor and 6 of his own champions. Damon and his comrade, Sir William the Wanderer, were the last 2 of the Warrior's Sons standing against Maegor, whose champions had all been killed. The king, badly wounded, managed to kill Damon. The next notable member of House Morrigen was Sir Gyles Morrigen, who was a skilled knight. He was nephew to Sir Damon the Devout, the very same who died in Maegor's Trial of Seven. During the late reign of King Maegor the Cruel, he supported the claim of Prince Jaehaerys, the last surviving son of King Aenys, when Lord Rhaegar Baratheon declared for the prince against Maegor's tyranny. After Jaehaerys took the Iron Throne, he gave the remaining members of his uncle's kingsguard a choice between execution or taking the Black and joining the Night's Watch. Sir Harold Langwood demanded a trial by combat, and his request was granted. King Jaehaerys wished to fight Harold himself, but his council overruled him, and Sir Gyles acted as the crown's champion instead. Morrigen made short work of Sir Harold, and Jaehaerys decided to make him the first member of his new kingsguard, naming him the Lord Commander. Sir Gyles would serve faithfully as Lord Commander for many years until he died sometime between 84 and 99 AC, being present at many key events over the long reign of King Jaehaerys the Conciliator. Later, Sir Grance Morgan participated in the Tourney at Ashford Meadow in 209 AC. We know that Sir Stephen Fossaway offered to practice with Sir Grance, but we do not know how he fared in the tourney itself, and he played no part in Sir Duncan de Tall's Trial of 7. We also know that during the reign of King Aerys II Targaryen, that Lord Armand Connington had some sort of border dispute with an unnamed Lord Morrigen. However, the specific information regarding this is unclear and not fully known to us. We have no confirmation if House Morrigen fought for the loyalists of House Targaryen or their liege lord Robert Baratheon during Robert's rebellion. However, given they are from the Stormlands and they are sworn to Robert, it would be safe to assume they likely fought with the rebels. By the time of the main book series, in A Clash of Kings, House Morrigen are among the Stormlords who chose to fight for Renly Baratheon during the War of 5 Kings. Sir Gyles Morrigen, known as Gyard the Green, is a member of King Renly's own version of the Kingsguard, known as the Rainbow Guard. After Renly's death early in the war, House Morrigen then turned to King Stannis Baratheon, Renly's eldest brother and the Lord of House Baratheon of Dragonstone. The vanguard of Stannis' army is later placed under the command of Sir Gyard, who then leads the foot during the attack on King's Landing and the Battle of the Blackwater. However, Gyard is slain at the Battle of the Blackwater by Sir Garland Tyrell, who is disguised as Renly Baratheon. After the loss at the Battle of the Blackwater, Lord Lester Morrigen stays loyal to Stannis, rather than bending the knee to King Joffrey like many of the Stormlords did. It is believed that during the events of A Storm of Swords, Lord Leicester travels to the north with Stannis, and thus we can believe he likely took part in the attack on the wildling forces beyond the wall. Also, by the end of A Dance with Dragons, Sir Tristan Rivers leads the taking of the seat of House Morrigen, Crow's Nest, by the Golden Company. But until we see the Winds of Winter, that is all we currently know of House Morrigen.